Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a project that I've had on the back burner for a very long time. And finally, I've got time, so let's do it. RZR 900 Big Bore Kit. Now this is a 2012 RZR 4-seater XP 900. And we're going to be using a stock bottom end, except it's not stock. I'll show you what we got going. The crankshaft is OEM crank, and I just did a little video of fixing this gear. These pins pop out. It's a left-hand thread and it'll work its way out. So that's back in. I drilled it and all that good stuff. Watch the video on it. Loctite it in. This thing ain't going nowhere. You know, slap it twice. It's good. And yeah, everything's working good there. As far as inside the bottom end, we've got H-beam rods by Corio. And with those rods, they measure 100 grams lighter than the stock rod. And we've got a better bolt holding it together in there. That's torqued to a whopping 30 foot-pounds of torque. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And we've got a big bore cylinder and piston here. And it's a 5mm overbore that takes it from 900 cc to 975. So, well, sorry, back to the rod first. This is your stock rod, normal I-beam forged rod. Nothing crazy. And so yeah, that's the H-beam rod that we've got, or H-beam rod, yes. I-beam, H-beam. Oof. And they look the same, really. It's just like that. Yeah. But I digress. Piston. So 5mm overbore. And here's what it looks like side-by-side comparison. It's a big boy, a lot bigger. So there's your difference there. This is going to be a good side-by-side on what's going on. So 5mm bigger. Here's your two cylinders. And normally you would think, oh, well, if you've got bigger bores, you're not going to have space here. No, what they actually do here is they split it. And they actually separate the pistons a little bit more. So there's actually more material in between the cylinders than there were before. And how they're doing that is you're keeping your rod in the same spot, but the piston, you can see here, we're moving it way over. So the rod is actually going to be offset in the piston a little bit. So kind of nuts there. That's something that I'm curious about in the engineering world. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't think it really matters, since everything's rigid. It should all work together. And I've ran one of these. My dad has. We did one in his well, let's see. It was a year ago we finished that project and did the tuning and everything. It was a wild one. So this one, we know what we're doing on this one, so I can talk a little bit more about it. So yeah, it comes with a new cylinder, and we'll get this installed. And so we got new timing chain, new guides, new oil pump chain, fixed this piece, and so yeah, the bottom end is fresh, new bearings, that's all done. And it comes with a Vertex gasket set because this is different. I think it's different. It could be the same as a stock one, but obviously your head gasket is going to be different because different bore size. So I'm not going to do a step-by-step of putting all this together. It's the same as a stock bottom end, but this is just a good explanation side-by-side on what's different inside there. And before I put it all together, I wanted to talk about two things. A, the hardest part about this, getting these stupid circlips in the pistons. Those are the worst. Normally there'll be like a 90-degree sort of thing in here so that you can really get your pliers in there to get them in. No, they couldn't do that because they needed to save the extra 1/4 gram. That was annoying. So that's the hardest part about putting all that together. 2, the oil squirters down here, one of them was not working. So what I did is I took my pick, and so this is probably doesn't matter to most people. I took this pick in from the main bearing side, from the bottom up, and then went in there and pushed it, because those little piston oil squirters in here, they have a ball and a spring that require, I don't know, 20 pounds of pressure to start squirting oil up into the piston. So don't know why they did that. Yes, an oil squirter, fantastic idea. Love that they did that on this, but why they needed to put a ball and a spring in there, don't know. So mine was stuck. Took that little prick in there and poked it a couple times, soaked it in brake clean, and everything's all good in there. So I've got the pistons oiled and I've got the cylinders oiled, so I'm gonna get this together off camera. They do fit in there. It just takes a lot of work, and I'm not that good at that. You know, I've only done a handful of motorcycle engines, but how hard could it be? All right, it's the next day. I've done single cylinders quite often. I don't know, I've rebuilt 5, 6 motorcycles in my life, so I kind of know those little tricks, but getting 2, what a pain. So I fought it for an hour trying to get them over. Well, don't do that. Twist your piston to the side, get one side in, and then push the other in. So tilt the piston to one side and work it in. So that's how I got it. So these rings are tiny. So you take your time, and if it doesn't go down by hand, you've got a problem. So everything's going good. And don't forget your gasket, or you're taking this all back apart again. So everything feels pretty good. I think we got it. So that's all there is to that. So there we go. Our pistons are inside, and so I'll kind of get it cinched down just a little bit, and then we'll see if everything rotates. Okay, this went good. Everything rotates. It's smooth, and no scratching on the walls. So I think that's a success. Yeah, just for now, I wanted to rotate it. Motorcycles usually have a bolt on the side that holds the cylinder to the bottom end, but these don't have that. So I just used the original head bolt, put a socket on there just to kind of hold it down so I could rotate it. And then also, here's a tip. This is the way I would do it. Make sure you put, which it worked out for me. I put compression ring gap here and here on the sides. Put your oil ring at a spot where you can see it. So put your oil rings, like here and here, because those will get stuck, and you kind of have to use a little pick to kind of get them into their place. So make sure you put your gaps on the oil rings somewhere where you can see them. Well, I nerded out recently and got my Game Boy working, so I'm on a bit of a Super Mario kick. We got a Kibble White stud kit that came with this kit. So with the extra 25 horsepower you're gonna get, you need to hold that head down. Yeah, I messed up. So the white chain guide goes on this side, the black one goes on that side. So I had to take the flywheel back off. Not a really big deal. Flywheel puller, I already had one, no biggie. So I had to take that apart. And there's your timing mark right there on the flywheel. You just line this up with this web on the case, And that's how you get TDC on the crank, and then we'll get the timing gears on. Timing is done, so I've rotated around a couple times. That mark is still there. We can see that the I on the intake and the E on the exhaust side. So there's the exhaust, intake, cams are in. These are a hot cam stage 2. And yeah, brand new, to give it a little extra, it looks a lot more aggressive on the duration side. The lift, not as much as you would think, but it's more of a duration thing. And let's see, what else? I forgot to mention the head I rebuilt myself. I ground the seats, ground the valves, installed new guides, because these guides, every single one I've done a couple of these heads, the guides are always trashed. And installed new seals. Now those are really expensive if you buy them from Polaris. I've kind of got my own parts that I put in there instead of $30 a guide and $30 a seal. Well, I can sell them for about $3 or $4 a guide and $3 or $4 a seal. So it's a tenth of the price. Kind of awesome. And so yeah, I do all that stuff right here. So, and then also we've polished, Joseph, my brother, he polished the, just kind of cleaned up the casting marks on the ports itself. And it's especially important on the exhaust. That helps keep the ports a little more clear, and they're going to flow better. So timing is on, and I think that's it for me for today on this one. I've got some other things I want to work on, so this one's been good. Engine is timed, and that is done with having that line in line with this casting rib right here. And so you can put your stator cover on. That's going to line up with that little hole right there. But if you've got that off, you can go off of that casting rib. And then we've got our intake lines, because that's the intake side, and exhaust lines lined up with the top of the cylinder head case. And the first cylinder is actually going to be the one in the back, opposite of the cam chains. I don't know why they did that. That personally annoys me, because number one should be the one closest to the cam sprockets, but that's not the way they did it. So you think you'll have it wrong, but no, actually number 2 is number 1. They're switched. I don't know why they did that. So that's timing this motor. Engine is complete. I got oil pump, water pump, the pan gasket, the pan on there, valve cover, all that normal stuff that, well, isn't as exciting. But this thing is ready to go. It's ready to be put back into the RZR. And yeah, this one went pretty good, pretty smooth. And I got these parts from Weller Racing online. Great company. I did this exact project about a year ago with my dad's RZR. This one's my brother's, and it just went so smoothly. Not that it's an easy project, especially the tuning part and getting all that figured out. But yeah, Weller Racing was great. You get to talk to the people. It's not just an online thing, no AI or garbage like that. They're really good. They'll work with you, so highly recommend them. So if you're looking to do something like this, yeah, let them know. They'll get you the springs, the springs that you need for the cylinder head. They'll get you the rods, pistons, the head studs, top end gasket set. Most of what you need, you will need to get other gaskets like valve cover gasket, pan gaskets. Yeah, they're basically going to give you half of what you need as far as gaskets goes, but all the internal parts that you will need, well, except for chains, you'll need. There's so much to it, so you're going to have to find out the hard way. It's not an easy one, but yeah, they're great. So yeah, give Weller Racing a try on that. And as far as tuning, yeah, it was a nightmare figuring that one out for the first time for me, because I never really messed with that kind of stuff. So, well, we'll see if we do a video on that or not. Let me know if there's interest in it. I would also like to see a, well, make it great if DynoJet would sponsor me on something like that. So, hey, if you're watching this, that'd be kind of nice. So that'd be cool. So yeah, an engine like this is great. It's a dry sump engine, and it's fantastic. And they don't make them like that anymore. So they only made it for 11 and 12. And then they went back to a wet sump. So it's kind of a shame, because it's a high performance motor. The dry sump is a great idea for it. And no one messes with these anymore, because they can get the new 1000 and all of that. And really, I'll be honest, my father-in-law has two 1000s. He has like the really nice one, and then the one that's pretty nice. I would put my dad's up against that 1000 straight up. The speed is about the same. The suspension, now that suspension on my dad's is really tuned up and it's good. I'd put it up side by side. So, and it's just more fun building it for yourself to make it compete with that. So if you're going against a Turbo S and all of that, yeah, no, you're not gonna, especially the really big high-end ones, no, you're not gonna compete. But as far as what we do with Desert and all that, that motor does great. So if that's something you're interested in, we're gonna get this in the RZR, and we'll do some startups and all of that. If you're interested in a tuning video on how to do this one, let me know. And again, DynoJet, hey, send me some stuff, let's do it. So yeah, see you guys on the next one, and it's gonna be fun.